Hello and welcome to another episode of the So Here For It podcast. I am your host, Amy Mingin. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we're talking about the magic of thinking big, but also the magic of starting small. Because no one ever got to where they got to by doing the huge action first. Like things just don't work that way. When we start small, big things occur. So let's get started. The Magic of Thinking Big is actually a book by a guy called David Schwartz, and it took the personal development world by storm because it really helped people to get on the motivation train. And I'm going to get into the neuroscience in just a minute, but the first step to anything to do with dreaming big, thinking big, and going beyond what you've always had and always thought is to have more belief, to believe that it could happen for you. And usually this is already being delivered to us. It's being delivered to us in a way of being shown to us. So somebody else might have it. We might notice it. You know, the reticular activating system is a really, really great part of the brain because as soon as we want for something, as soon as we desire something, as soon as we notice something, we start to notice it more. Naturally, that occurs. You notice, like if you are thinking about getting a new car, that exact same car, all of a sudden you see it everywhere. And the same thing about you start looking at things online. You might want a new piece of activewear, and then all of a sudden you're out and about and you see everybody else in that activewear. There is something about it. We look for what we want, but also we see what we want as well. So it's really, really important to start being intentional about what you're thinking about every single day. Is it in alignment with where you want to go? And the beauty of this particular episode is if you're not currently where you want to be, you get to change that. So that's where we're going to go today. If you don't know where you are and you're unsure and you're stuck, or even if you do know where you want to go, but you're not there yet, this is a great episode for you. So I want to start by, first of all, saying that success is not determined by intelligence or even by skill set. It's actually the ability to think big and to take action. Like people just have to learn how to take action. It doesn't need to be perfect action. It is just making a move, creating momentum. Nothing started from nothing. So it's about taking one step, getting feedback, taking another step. This is not new information. I have said this on previous episodes. So please go ahead and listen to other episodes about manifestation techniques, about frequency, about your desires and manifestation, because this stuff, you can never really hear it too many ways. It's like when I say it one way, I'm going to say it slightly differently in another way, and it's going to land differently for different people. So that's why I do lots of different episodes about very similar topics, because this is the crux of actually what is holding people back. It's the crux of what makes you scared inside your nervous system. And it's the thing that actually helps drive you forward in life. So if you start creating better goals, start thinking bigger, and start being like, hey, this is actually possible for me, and start to believe in it, that's what's going to help to keep you motivated and keep you consistent and disciplined toward the future. So have a think about last time you set a goal. I mean, we're still at the start of the year, so maybe you have very recently set a new goal. Maybe you haven't thought about your 2025 goals yet. Maybe it's time. So let me help facilitate that today. We will get to some really great steps so that you can get really clear, and then you can reverse engineer from where you want to be to where you are now. And then you'll have a great set of skills mapped out, steps mapped out that you can slot in so beautifully every single day, every single week, every single month toward your goal. So let's get started. I firstly want to talk into a little bit of neuroscience because, as you know, I have a science background, I have a health background. I am borderline obsessed with this stuff. I just am so fascinated about everything to do with the way that the brain works and the way that human behavior works. And when I do research into dopamine, especially, it is very much intertwined with our pleasure pain. It is intertwined with our goal setting. It's intertwined with our motivation. And it's also intertwined with like the feeling of fear. So you can see how sometimes when we set a goal that is really, really big, the very first thing we'll say is like, oh my God, I'm scared. And I always know when I've set a goal big enough because I'm like, so scared. I feel like I'm like on the edge of a cliff and like looking over and it's like, oh my gosh. And you get like that kind of woozy feeling. And it's almost like your feet and your knees go weak. That means you're dreaming big. And the cool thing is, if you've already dreamed big, there's a really cool thing out there in the manifestation community that says this. They say, if something comes to you, it's not by chance. It's the future version of you letting you know that you're already there. And I like to believe that. I like to believe that because how can we ever possibly think a thought without it having already occurred? We can't possibly visualize something that hasn't happened yet, or else we wouldn't be able to visualize it. So if we go through all dimensions and all space and time and allow ourselves to go into the quantum for this episode, and also when you're doing your manifestation practice, when you're actually tuning into your goal every day, can you let yourself go across all space and time and dimensions? Because the only part that keeps us in this 3D reality is just our five senses. We can imagine anything. So we will get more into that in just a minute. We're naturally wired for more. We're naturally wired to be curious. So it makes sense for us to say, well, what else is there? What else do I want? Have you ever asked yourself that question? You get something and then you go, cool, what else is there? What else do I want? Like after I finished a marathon last year, I was like, what's the next race I'm booking myself into? And literally within days, I'd book the next one. Take your time with things. Like there is no rush in this. Sometimes I say to people, like if it's not coming to you straight away, then probably there's some nervous system work to do. So let yourself have some relaxation, let yourself have some calm time, let it come to you. Because you sitting there and like trying to squeeze a thought out, it just doesn't happen. I don't know if you're a creative type or not, but sometimes you're sitting there trying to create something and it's just not coming. And that's because you're trying to squeeze it. So don't squeeze it. Let yourself calm down, change your environment, go for a walk in nature, go to the beach, go stand on the grass, go stand in the sunshine with the least amount of clothing that you have and be appropriate. Or maybe not, whatever you want to do. Do it so that you feel more in your body, so you feel more comfortable, so you feel more calm and the things come to you. So think about it this way. If we know that dopamine is related to both pleasure and pain, happiness and fear, excitement and feeling scared, you know when you hit the right goal because it instantly feel equally scary and exciting. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm nerve sighted. It's like you get super nervous and you get super excited for it. And like there's this expansive feeling inside of you. There's also that part when you're like setting a goal or you're thinking big about something and you go beyond that and it's just fear. So you need to like maybe take a little tiny step back. If you're only feeling fear, take a little step back and find that spot. It's kind of a sweet spot between like you're equally scared and equally excited. It's like the pleasure pain threshold is doing its balancing act. It's always trying to find homeostasis, right? So you want to make sure that you kind of get a little twang inside your solar plexus and you know that you're on the right track then. So the great thing about it is once you choose something and you make a decision on something, you're instantly motivated because you think about we've got the fear motivating some people. It's a big driver. Most people, here's a cool fact. Most people, particularly in business, it happens with athletes as well. Most people, the high achievers, usually get to where they are because they're trying to prove someone wrong. They are getting through it, like they're channeling their anger or they're channeling their fear or they want to prove whoever it was that said they couldn't do it, they want to prove them wrong. Pretty interesting, right? This is driven through dopamine. This is driven through our motivation center. So you'll know, like once you've created that goal, you'll go, okay, well, now I'm motivated to go and do it. But what happens when you get a little bit down the track and then you lose momentum? What happens when an obstacle comes in your path? What happens when it's not going the way that you particularly wanted it to go? Because I don't know about you, but I can ask for lots of things a lot of the time. And very rarely does it happen exactly the way that I visualized it. Very rarely. The thing will still happen. And I just kind of go, well, universe, that was a really roundabout way to deliver that. But okay, thank you. So you think about different ways that things have been delivered to you, different ways that you've experienced your life, different ways that you've manifested things. Sometimes it's been super easy and cruisy and surprising. And then other times it'll be super arduous and filled with lessons and obstacles and situations and all sorts of things. And the beauty of it is we get to learn through every single step of the way, right? So if you are visualizing what it is that you want, you can visualize it every single day. Visualize it when you wake up, visualize it before you go to bed, sit in a nice calm state, and then bring the feeling into your heart of what it feels like to already have it. And this is the most simplified version of manifestation, of rewiring the brain, of getting new neural pathways firing. Now, for some people, this is enough. For other people, like myself, it needs to be followed up with lots of teeny tiny action, because the brain doesn't know any different between our imagination or reality. If you're taking teeny tiny steps every day, you're building more resilience within your nervous system. You're building more evidence for yourself. And that's why I say some of us, like myself, like to build the evidence as we go. There's nothing wrong with it. I obviously don't have the belief that it just happens like that out of thin air. I have the belief that the universe is co-creating with me, meets me halfway. So therefore, in order for me to achieve my goals, I've got to put that GPS marker out there and I go, all right, universe, let's do it together. Show me how good it gets. Show me how to do this. Show me what you're going to do. And I'll respond. And then I do this day after day after day. The thing is, some people will see the obstacles. They'll feel really crappy some days. But these are the days that you really, really, really need to knuckle down and be like, okay, I need to visualize what is it again that I want? What is it? And why do I want it? What is it? And why do I want it? And really tune into the feeling of having it. Because the version of you who doesn't have it right now, you're just simply out of alignment with it. So how do you get in alignment with it? You release your nervous system's resistance toward it. And I say this inside my Woman of Value Mastermind frequently. They're like, well, how come I've done all of this strategy and it hasn't worked for me yet? And I'm like, it is working for you. What we're actually working on is you being more present in your body so that you can receive. What we are working on is you being in energetic alignment with the thing that you're putting out there. So sometimes, even though we're health practitioners, sometimes, even though we're coaches, sometimes, even though we're parents, we're wives, we're girlfriends, we're sisters, we're cousins, whatever it is, there's going to be times where we're less embodied in what we're saying. Sometimes we say things, we can give great advice, but we're not actually doing it. You know, it happens. So sometimes we have this belief that we need to embody it before it happens for us. And I think this happens for a lot of people, sometimes in a really positive way, sometimes in a negative way. Whatever way it happens for you, it still is taking you towards your goals, towards your dreams. So long as you keep realigning every single day, keep doing it, because it doesn't work when you just do it once. This is like a muscle. Think about your neural pathways have been the way that they are because you have believed what you've believed for a really long time. So if you want to change those beliefs, we need to rewire them. We need to literally brainwash ourselves into thinking something different, into believing something different, into feeling something different so that we can become something different. And the becoming is where we take action. Does this make sense? We create the dream, we create the goal, and then we start taking action steps. Who we are becoming is this version over here. And that is a complete different version to who we are here, which is why we start to feel differently, which is why we start to take action differently, which is why we actually keep our word to ourselves, right? So if you were to be able to take a small step each day, that's going to step you toward your dream, right? But sometimes people think that there is like this really specific, divine, perfect way to take action. It just doesn't exist. Even if the universe was like, do it this way, you would still learn to fuck it up. I promise you that. Even if you were given the exact list, our beautiful human self, with its limiting beliefs, with its resistance, with the way that our experiences work, we are going to find ways to make it hard for ourselves because of our belief systems. And it's so ironic. It is so ironic. And you'll know this if you've tried to manifest something and you've just been trying, as opposed to allowing. Such a different feeling, such a different way for it to show up for you in your life. So The reason why we're taking small steps every day is because we're feeding dopamine, the positive dopamine, the pleasure-filled dopamine. We're getting really good feedback loops through our nervous system, through our neural pathways. We get quick wins. We get to tick it off our list. We get to feel really good about it. Whenever we complete a task, our brain goes, yes, here's some more dopamine. We complete another task. Yes, here is more dopamine. The most important thing here is that we're actually taking steps forward in relationship to our goal, as opposed to everything else that might be distracting us in life. So if you work from home, I'm going to give you an example here. You work from home, it's very, very easy to just be like, oh, I'll just throw that load of washing on. Oh, I just need to vacuum. Oh, I better strip the beds and like make the beds. Before you know it, it's 2 p.m. and you've done no work, but you've ticked a lot of things off your list. So set a day. If you don't have a cleaner, you might want a cleaner. But if you aren't in a space where you've got a cleaner yet, then set a day that's not a work day for you to get that stuff done. And you just basically have to learn to turn a blind eye and do the bare basics throughout the week. And then have that couple of hours every single week to get the house clean, if that's the thing that distracts you. Another thing, total big life hack right here that I'm just about to share with you. Save your screen time until it's time to go on your screen. Only 4% of the world are actual creators. 96% of the world are consumers. And I want you to remember that if you're running a business, you get to be in the creator category, which means 96% of people are your potential clients. Pretty huge, hey? Really bloody huge. So it's really, really important that you're taking action in the right place at the right time so that you can step forward. Now, I'm going to give you like a really, really great example. Imagine that you have a goal to have 1,000 clients this year. I just want you to imagine it. Close your eyes and as long as you're not driving or doing, operating machinery, close your eyes and imagine what would it feel like to have 1,000 clients. Some people are going to have like this visceral like ick to that. Some people will be super excited. Some people will be indifferent. Maybe you've already got 1,000 clients. If you've already got 1,000, then put it up to 2,000 or 3,000, whatever it is. It's got to be bigger than what you're currently doing. And what you just to consider, what does that feel like? And how does that expand you? Because sometimes people are getting into freeze mode. They're going into procrastination. They're going into the word overwhelm because they keep saying to themselves that they don't know what to do. And I've definitely done this. Holy moly, have I done this? I remember in the very beginning, I'd be like, I know that I need to get an email list. Oh, but I don't know how to do it. And then I try and figure that out. And eventually I would, but it would take up so much time. And it's like the nervous system has this recalibration every day. It's like, oh my God, it's hard. Oh my God. But you know what happens is over time, things do get easier. And just because you're at that stage where it's like, it's a big learning curve every single step of the way, you can still do it. You prove to yourself time and time again that you can still do it. So I want you to go and have a think about the 1,000 clients again. Like what steps would you take to get the 1,000 clients? What does it look like? What does it feel like? What sort of steps? How long is it going to take you? Because I want to, like, whatever you've just thought of, I want you to put it into a 6-month amount of time. It's a lot of clients, right? Do you know what though? If you're thinking, oh my God, that's a lot of work that I have to do. The beauty is you can hire a team. The beauty is you can have systems in place. You can have automations in place. These are all things that are talked inside Woman of Value, by the way. But you can have so many different things in place that will support you so that you can support 1,000 people. And for you to do that, it doesn't mean that you necessarily have to work any harder than what you're doing. You just need to be smarter about it. So think about the structures, the team, the mentor that you'll hire, the mentor that you have. Think about having like-minded people around you. Now, I want you to think about how you currently feel with the current number of clients you have. How do you feel before the dream? Now, I want you to think about what it feels like to be in it and be like working toward it. How's the feeling there? And then I want you to consider what is it like once you're there. You're like, and you open up your computer and you're like, wow, that's the 1,000th client that's booked in and paid. How amazing is that? Like, what's the feeling there? And then all it is you starting to realign with that feeling, that end feeling every single day. Bring it into your field. Imagine what it is to have that size business, to have that many people that you see, to have that much cash flow in your business. Now that you've imagined it, can you start to believe that it's possible for you? Because if the dream isn't for you, there's no possible way that you could have even dreamed that up. There's no possible way that you could even have imagined it. So as somebody who I used to coach, and we went through a process, and I asked her to think of her goal. And it was a really big issue to her. She couldn't think of a goal. She could think about money. She could think about clients. She could think about sales. She could think about the products that she sold. But she could not think of one goal that encompassed all of it. And do you want to know why? Because she was in the wrong business model. She actually needed to close her current business and choose a new path. It was huge for her. It was so, so huge. And little did she realize she went through like this whole big ego death about it. But she didn't realize at the time that the reason why her current business wasn't doing the things that she wanted it to do was because she wasn't in alignment with it. So I want you to bring the goal to mind. Let's go through this process. The 1,000 clients thing was just, me playing with you. What is your actual goal? What is your goal for 2025? Let's give it a 6-month timeline. How does it feel there? And I want you to audit your current numbers. Like, where are you currently in relation to that? So if you said you wanted 50 clients, let's say you've just decided it's 50. Cool. Well, does 50 clients also equal something like $50,000? Do you want to make $50,000 in the next 6 months? That might sound like a lot to some people and not very much to another. So wherever you are in the spectrum, just like let it land, because money mindset is such a massive thing that we do talk about inside Woman of Value, and it is such valuable work to do. And it is all nervous system work. It's all belief work. It's all energetics. And then the rest is just plug and play and applying it into systems. So once you've audited your current numbers, I want you to ask yourself, does your current business model allow you to create that goal? So like that client that I was talking about, it didn't allow for her to have what she wanted because it was the complete wrong business. So she closed that and she started the new one, and now she's thriving. Like, she's absolutely thriving because she's doing what it is that she wants to do. She followed her heart as opposed to her head. Really big difference. And if your current model allows for that, great, you'll know what to do. But I want you to now consider what could be missing. Now, this is the clincher. What is in your current business model that's missing, or your current model of life that is missing? So if your goal is to have a baby, but your partner works away in the mind and isn't back in the weeks that you're ovulating, something needs to change, right? Or if you are saying that you want to release 20 kgs, but you're still going to Macca's twice a week, it's not really in alignment, is it? If you're unwilling to exercise or you're super stressed out of your brain, like, just have a look at the current things that are missing that the version of you who has it has, and the current version of you doesn't. And we're going to fill in those gaps. And then guess what? It's up to you now to take these teeny tiny action steps, because you've already thought big. You've already set your goal. You already have it on a timeline. You've already highlighted the gap areas. So now all you need to do is take action. Now, the thing is, you can take action by yourself, 100%. Absolutely. You'll get there. Action is so much faster when you're doing it with people who are like-minded. Action is so much faster when you have a mentor by your side, suggesting things, supporting you, both emotionally, energetically, but also with the action tasks. So if this is you, if you've listened to this and you're like, oh my God, Amy, I need your help, please reach out to me on social media at Amy Mingin. You can send me through a message on social media, or please feel free to tap the link down in the show notes. I will pop my link down there. You can get in contact with me and we can chat about what options are available to you. So, thank you so much for joining today. It has been a pleasure to talk more about thinking big because it's one of my most favorite things. I am obsessed with dopamine, with the reward cycle, with setting goals, with taking big, bold moves. But most importantly, I'm so excited about my clients getting win because when they're winning, it means that humanity is being served in a bigger way. The ripples are getting out there. We are changing the world one person at a time. So if you want to join in this movement, get in touch with me. Otherwise, I'll be seeing you next week. Thank you so much for joining me. And remember, rate, review, subscribe so that I can land in someone else's ears that is just like you. Thank you so much.